Hello, everyone. I hope that all of you are adjusting to this new isolated reality well. I hope that you're all safe. I hope that you are all being somewhat productive and that you are not too bored with everything. This video is meant as a primer for the reading of George Orwell's essay, Politics and the English Language. Over the next little while, I'm going to be doing some of these primers, right? And then having you read a reading or a poem or something in order to keep up your reading skills and also to read something very interesting. So, on to it. George Orwell is most famous for writing Animal Farm and 1984. For those of you who were in my class last year, he also wrote Down and Out in Paris and London, which was his memoir of working as kind of the lowest of the low in Paris and London after having had a middle class English upbringing. He is a very political writer. Some people call him the most influential writer of the 20th century. One of the things that has always fascinated George Orwell was the use of language in politics. Much of 1984, if you remember, is devoted to the idea of newspeak, this language that the party comes up with in order to use it as a tool of repression. Newspeak is the destruction of language in order to make it so that people cannot even think about rebelling against the party. George Orwell recognized that language could be a powerful tool in repression or in enfranchisement. And what he writes is an essay on the use of the English language in particular in politics. And it's a fascinating read. He has all sorts of examples of how small changes in language can really make a big difference when it comes to politics. The example that I always use, which we see sort of on almost a daily basis, is when a public figure or politician says the words "mistakes were made." Even something as small and as subtle as that makes the action on mistakes as if the mistakes somehow made themselves. And, oh, well, it's actually nobody's fault that this particular terrible thing happened. It's the fact that mistakes were made. Well, no, somebody made a mistake, right? Somebody actually did something wrong, and it led to a terrible consequence, perhaps for someone else. And George Orwell comes out with all sorts of examples of that sort of linguistic practice in this essay, Politics and the English Language. I hope that you read it. I hope that you enjoy it. It's the sort of essay that, it's short enough, but you may have to read some of the paragraphs 1 or 2 times. His writing is quite dense, and he tries to be as concise and as straightforward as possible when he writes it, so as not to fall into sort of his own trap of using language in order to somehow embellish his point even more. And yes, it's a very interesting read, and I hope that you all enjoy it. I have posted it here on campus along with this little primer for it. If you feel like you want to write about it, please write in the text boxes of the on-campus assignments, which you see all the time, and I will read them and I will get back to you. Like with all of the assignments that I'm doing for now, this one is voluntary. Read it if you can. I would highly recommend it. It's a good piece of literature. But if you can't, if you feel like you're not in a place where you can do that, then don't focus on other things. Once again, I hope that you are all doing well. If you want to get in touch with me, you can always email me, or I am also on Google Chat if you want to have a more informal conversation. Google Chat, if you log into Google Chat from your Cell One account and you type in my name, it'll pop up immediately and you can send me a message. I'm on there sort of sporadically throughout the day. Anyway, I hope that you are all safe. I hope that you are all healthy, and I will be posting another reading next week. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye-bye.